Yo, what's good, everybody? And thank you for tuning in to my review on the amazing show Bel-Air. If this is your first time coming to my channel, welcome. If you are a returning family member, then you already know what it is and what it always will be. Be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe. Tell somebody to tell somebody if you choose to. If not, just sit back, relax while we get into this thing. First thing first, let me just say that I had every intention to review Bel-Air this season. However, I did not know that they were going to be releasing 3 episodes every Thursday. I was not prepared for this. I do enjoy watching TV, but I don't watch TV like that. And because I wanted to review the show, I literally had to binge all 3 episodes today, and I just was not prepared. I just wasn't. I was getting things together to talk about the first 3 episodes, and then lo and behold, another 3 dropped. I said, God, what is going on? I didn't know this. I wasn't prepared for this. I wasn't ready for this. But nonetheless, here we are. So I'm just going to give like an overview of each character from episodes 1 through episode 6. And, we're just going to talk about this thing. And I must say that I thoroughly enjoy Bel-Air. I give props to the creator of the show, the writers of the show, Will Smith, backing the show and everything like that. This is one of the most well-written shows that have come out within the past like 2-3 years. I really enjoy it, and I hope you guys enjoy it too. But nonetheless, we're going to get right into this thing, and I'm going to start with the character of Carlton. So when season 3 opens up, we see that Carlton is in his last stint at therapy. And we are introduced to a new character by the name of Amira. And Amira is Carlton's love interest. Now, at first, I didn't know what to quite think of this character because baby girl was trying to get it in before they left. And I'm like, wait a minute, because, romantic relationships are frowned upon, especially in this phase of their sobriety. And I'm like, baby girl, even if you think it's the time, it dang on show ain't the place, okay? Because y'all about to leave, y'all about to bounce. And his family is about to knock on his door in 3.5 seconds, which is what happened. And Will caught old girl hiding in the bathroom. And all he could do was chuckle. I'm like, how many of us have been there at times when you had to hide somebody who wasn't supposed to be around? We all know been there. But with Carlton, what I have enjoyed the most about his journey within the first 6 episodes is that his family is holding him accountable to the things that he did. And I know a lot of people may feel like, you can't hold someone's past against them. And I ultimately agree, and I feel like the way that they have gone about it has been in a very proactive way. And it's so interesting because, and I'm going to be mixing in some of the other characters, Ashley was truly my MVP when it came to this welcome home dinner. I said this must be the upscale version of what Doughboy experienced with his welcome home cookout when he got out of jail. I'm like, this is what the suburb people do when, somebody come out of rehab. But I just thought it was very interesting. Everybody is really in this happy-go-lucky mode. They are smiling. They're acting like everything is right. And Ashley is just like, I'm not with the BS. I'm not with the facade. How did therapy/rehab help you? What did you learn? Did it really take? And I could really feel where Ashley was coming from. Ashley is looking at this picture, looking at her brother, especially probably holding on things from what we saw of last season, how he went off on her, how he yelled at her, the aggression that he showed her. And I'm sure that's still sitting in the back of her mind. So it was really good to see Ashley express herself. And I really love that the family did not make her feel that her perspective wasn't welcomed or wasn't warranted, because it was. They were not the only ones who were affected by Carlton's drug use, as well as him being in therapy. And I just love the fact that even though she's the youngest, Ashley still has a voice. And I think that is a great narrative that they show throughout the show. So even continuing with Carlton, with him and Amira, I just, I'm like, what? I don't know what's wrong with this girl. I feel like it was something going on. However, I just couldn't put my finger on it as to what she was actually bringing into Carlton's life. And even as we ventured into, the later episodes, I really do feel like Amira and Carlton at this point need to only be friends. Them having a romantic relationship is not good for either of them. She's experiencing, her own emotional traumas and triggers right now. We find out, I believe it's in episode 6, that Amira lost her sister and she is dealing with, the hurt behind that. And I'm like, Carlton, you're not ready to be a support system for her in this way. As a boyfriend, as a lover, you just don't have at this moment the ability to give. And I think that when Carlton invited her to the Juneteenth celebration and she met Aunt Viv, and Aunt Viv was basically telling her to prioritize herself. And I think that the way Amira took that to me was a typical teenager, almost to say, well, your mom don't want me with you and this is how people view me. Even if Viv did feel that way, telling Amira to prioritize herself, I believe, was top tier advice. It's like, at this point, baby. And then the fact that Amira told Viv that she was a repeat offender. I'm like, girl, how old are you? 17? You're 17 years old and you are a repeat offender when it comes to rehab. I would not want my child to be connected romantically to someone like that. Not at all. And not saying she's beneath Carlton or she isn't worthy of him. But at this moment in her life, at this juncture, baby, y'all don't need to be together. Not at all. I think the thing that I enjoyed most, and this may sound a little out there, but the thing that I enjoyed most so far about, two things that I've enjoyed so far about Carlton's character this season is that Carlton had a big interview with one of the representatives of Princeton. However, that meeting got canceled once they got whiff of Carlton being in rehab, his drug use, so on and so forth. And he was so excited and he was looking forward to it. However, Viv had to come and break the news that the meeting was no longer a go. And Carlton couldn't understand why. And I love the dynamic and the conversations that Viv had with Carlton so far, and letting him know that in life, there are certain things that you do, they have consequences. And sometimes they have life-altering consequences. And I think that in most shows that I watch, even dealing with adults, they can do something and then they never get the opportunity to experience or live out the consequence. And we are watching Carlton live out the consequence. A college that he has wanted to attend since he was a child, he may not get that opportunity. So I think it is so important, especially with this generation, who feel so entitled, who feel like they really don't have to do much, who feel like I could do whatever I want to do and bump your consequences. I think that them writing for Carlton to experience this, to live in this, and to sit with this is such a great story to tell. And even with Viv, how she's going through her own transformation of not even trusting herself. And even when she told Carlton, it ain't even the fact that I just don't trust you, I don't trust me. And that has to be something as a parent, to want to trust your child and believe in your child. And then you have to come to the knowledge that your child has been lying to you this entire time. And that's why I'm a firm believer, man. When your gut telling you something, go with that. A lot of times we will say, I'm just thinking crazy, or it ain't no big deal. I don't know why I'm even thinking like that. Don't just totally dismiss how you're feeling, because there may be some legitimacy in what you're actually experiencing. And so even with Amira and Carlton, I'm starting to see that maybe Amira, she may need to go back to therapy. And the reason why I say that is, even though Amira may not be using drugs, she's still seeking a feeling of euphoria, in a sense of being high. So she's trying to do these different activities that's going to give her that same rush that she has when she's using drugs. And so basically, when I look at her character, she is just substituting drugs for something else, not really dealing with the issue, looking for something else that can give her that feeling that she has, where she can escape, where she doesn't have to deal with her reality or her hurt. And I really do have compassion for her character, because I really want to know the type of relationship, and I don't think they mention it in the show, what type of relationship she has with her parents. Because it's obvious this young lady is broken, that she is damaged emotionally. She's dealing with the loss of her sister. We don't know how recent or how distant it has been. But I actually, I actually like her character more than I thought I would, especially now that they're giving her character some depth. She's just not acting out just to act out. She's just not this wayward child. She definitely has a lot of things going on within her emotionally. And I really hope that we get an opportunity to see that unfold. But I do not want to see Amira and Carlton linked in a romantic dynamic. And that's just where I'm coming from. So we're going to move right on along. And I'm going to go with Ashley. Like I said, Ashley this season, she was definitely the MVP at that dinner for Carlton. And Ashley she just acts like she tired of everybody. Ashley is like, I'm tired of y'all pretending. I'm tired of this facade. I'm just tired of everything. And it was so funny when Ashley was looking at her parents as they was doing this beautiful photo shoot. She's chilling with her homegirl. And she's just like, you know what? This is all for appearance. And sometimes, people value the appearance more than they value the actual state of the relationship. And that's basically what she was saying. Basically, so much so, Ashley was saying this is cap without basically saying that. And Ashley is still, going, on her journey as being this young, intellectual, young lady. And I'm loving it. They're starting to incorporate music into Ashley's story. And we know that, of course, on the OG, Fresh Prince, Tatiana Ali, who portrayed Ashley, she was a singer. And so I'm like, okay, I like this. I like how they're introducing it. It's not overkill. It's almost as if Ashley likes poetry and then she's seeking other ways to express herself now with music. So I'm looking forward to that and how they allow her to grow in that space. Also with her creating the band. And we meet another character. I don't remember what their name was, but we get to see Ashley build these relationships. And Ashley is a very emotionally intelligent young kid, basically. And there's a moment where she's talking to Hilary, because basically, she's telling Hilary, I'm Team Jazz. You're not going to marry LaMarcus. And I said, you know what, Ashley, even though I get you, girlfriend, I get you, little sis, sometimes, you have to learn tact. Okay. And you have to learn when certain things is just not your business. Even if you feel that way, sometimes everything that you feel doesn't have to be expressed vocally. I am glad that Ashley has a voice. Like I said earlier, I am glad about that. However, sometimes I'm like, Ashley, baby, you're still a kid and you still got a lot to learn in this life. But I do enjoy the fact that she is not afraid to be herself. And that's something that we don't see all the time with young characters. They try to fit in, or they try to fit a mold that may not be accessible or a right fit for them. And Ashley kind of she kind of walks to the beat of her own drum. And I do like that about her character. I also enjoy the fact that even though she may not like what's going on, she still extends a level of grace. And I think we were able to see that with her and Carlton, that even though Carlton, in the beginning episodes was not her favorite person, but I love that she embraced him at the Juneteenth celebration. She didn't have much to say, but I'm sure she had thoughts and feelings. And it was in that moment she just knew, however I'm feeling right now, that's for me to work out, and that's not for me to put on my brother. So I did like that about the character of Ashley. Ashley, she's a well-written character, I must say. She's amongst everybody else. But I just love the fact how they incorporate emotional intelligence with her. Ashley having her own perspective and her own narrative, and she's not afraid to let her voice be heard. So I do like that. Lord, we about to get into Hilary, child. Hilary, sis, what you doing? So when we see Hilary, the opening of season 3, Hilary is on this private jet. Yes, ma'am. Private jet with her boo LaMarcus. And we find out what's supposed to be a week getaway turned into a month-long getaway. I said, well, sis, you do it. Okay, I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad at you. I know some people don't like LaMarcus. I like LaMarcus. That brother ain't did nothing wrong. He ain't did not one thing wrong other than, still been in love with Hilary and still coming into the picture when Hilary was trying to figure out, where she was mentally and emotionally with Jazz. But the way I see it, when it comes to Hilary and Jazz, I'm in the minority when I say this. And that's fine. And some people don't agree, and that's fine. I do not want Hilary and Jazz together. Not at this point. I really don't. I have no beef if Hilary was to marry LaMarcus and have a family and all of that stuff. But we don't even know if baby boy gonna make it to the end of season 3 because of him. I will get to that in a minute. Before I jump the gun, Jazz has a lot of insecurities that he needs to work through, and I believe that one thing he cannot do, he cannot penalize Hilary for having money. She has money. That's what it is. She comes from money. Okay. And you don't. Okay, fine, cool. She knew that when she got with him, just as well as he knew her background when he got with her. And she's not supposed to apologize for having money. If something is going on and Jazz is not able to financially take care of it, Hilary is in a position where she doesn't mind doing it, and she does not make him feel less of a man when he can't. So until he deals with his own insecurities, until he deals with the fact of where he feels that he is not measuring up as a man, then he doesn't need to be with a woman like Hilary. Get you a little chick from around the way, which ain't nothing wrong with that, where you can feel, you can puff out your chest a little bit, and that's fine. But don't make her feel bad because you're not where you want to be and you don't possess some of the things that she may have easy access to. So that's where we kind of left Jazz and Hilary in season 2 when she chose to go on this trip with LaMarcus. Now, it is very evident that Hilary definitely still has love for Jazz, and Jazz has love for her. When Jazz told Hilary, you know what I'm saying, that she's a runner, she's a track star, she just runs from her issues. I'm like, okay, yes, there's some validity in that, but Jazz, really? And then Hilary wanted to, parade the fact that her and LaMarcus were engaged. And I couldn't do anything but laugh. And I'm like, Hilary, baby, this is the wrong time for that. This is absolutely the wrong time for this. And you're only doing this because Jazz made you feel some type of way when he delivered his truth to you. And it was kind of like a ha-ha in your face kind of situation. Like, yeah, I may be a runner and a track star, but I'm an engaged one. And I'm like, Hilary, I don't want my boy LaMarcus to be a casualty of war, but I do feel that that's what's going to happen. So then there's this event, and Jazz and Hilary share a kiss. And Ashley saw. And Ashley tells Hilary that you need to tell your fiance. Like, you need to tell him what happened. You need to tell him what's up. I was struggling with that because I'm like, do she really need to tell LaMarcus what happened? I don't know. I don't know. Now, I am a firm believer, those who are new listening to me, I am a firm believer in being honest. I really am. Now, that kiss, I'm like, Hilary, think about it. Think about it, sis. Now, if you know there is unresolved issues there, feelings that came up when you kissed him, I do believe in being honest. I really do. Now, if this was just a kiss and you know it meant nothing and nothing is going to come of it, baby, you might want to take that to the grave with you. And don't let it come in between you and your relationship right now. That's just where I stand with it. Now, I don't know what I would do in that situation. Well, I don't know what I would do in that situation. I'll put it that way. But I'm like, girl, don't ruin this. You just announced your engagement. Just, baby girl, keep it to yourself. All right? Keep it to yourself. And so, Hilary felt guilty, and Hilary was with Ivy. First of all, Carucci, who betrays Ivy. Ivy knew that there was something different about Hilary. She was like, girl, you glowing. Ever since you stepped off that plane, you just been smiling like this looks good on you. Hilary says there is nothing to tell. I said, girl, you lying. I didn't know what it was, but I knew it was something. And then when Ivy said, baby Ivy has a ring to it, I said, this girl better not be pregnant. Hilary bet not be pregnant. That's the first thing I thought. But then when we got the engagement, I'm like, okay, that's on brand. Yes, I get it. Now, do I believe that Hilary loves LaMarcus? I honestly do. I honestly believe that Hilary loves LaMarcus. I honestly believe that she's in love with LaMarcus. And as I stated, I might be in the minority with this, but I believe that Hilary just got to a place. It's one thing when you love somebody, because I do believe that she genuinely loves Jazz, but who wants to sit around until you figure out what the hell you gonna do about your own insecurities? Am I just supposed to sit around until you get to the place of being okay with who I am? And that's where I think she was, like, with a lot of women. Men, I can't speak to y'all experiences because I'm not a man. But, being a woman, when you love somebody and you want to be with them, but yet they're not in a place where they want to do what's necessary to handle you in a relationship, then you got to do what you got to do. That doesn't mean you don't love them and you don't genuinely care about them, but you may not want to wait around for him to find himself. And you have every right not to do that. And I just think that's where Hilary was. Now, I could be wrong. We'll see how everything play out as the season goes. But that's how I genuinely feel about the Hilary, LaMarcus, and Jazz dynamic. Now, as Hilary goes to reveal to LaMarcus about this kiss, LaMarcus was hit hella hard. And I had a problem with that. I said, first of all, this is practice. Y'all don't even have on full uniform. You know what I'm saying? Pads, nothing like that. Why the hell you hit this boy that hard? Y'all should have saw me when that part came on. I was like, what the hell? Why you did that? That was just an unnecessary hit. And when that boy passed out, I said, no, y'all not about to do this to me. Y'all are not about to bring in OG Fresh Prince when Trevor bungee jumped and crashed into that cement asking Hilary to marry him. Y'all not finna do this. Y'all not finna take LaMarcus out like that. That's what I really thought they were going to do. But we found out that LaMarcus was okay. He's had a heart condition his entire life, and he never knew about it, which we're starting to see more of those things starting to come out, especially with athletes. And so I was like, oh man, that was heavy. Then we see his dad comes in. Yeah, he gonna be all right. He gonna be on that field in no time. Excuse me? Your son can't even walk to the bathroom without being out of breath. He about to get on what field? And you know, Hilary is looking like, are y'all out of y'all minds? You're in no position to get on the field at all. And I felt bad for LaMarcus because I understand when you've done something your entire life, and then for that to be just taken away from you, you don't know how to maneuver. You don't know what to do when that's all you know. And I'm gonna come back to this when I talk about Will, but it's like that's all you know. And when it gets taken away, what do you have? And a lot of people go into depression that way. They begin to push people away from them when they don't know what they're gonna do when all they've known no longer exists. And so I had to give big props up to Hilary when she began to change the narrative of LaMarcus's situation. You know, put some little makeup on him, look good in the bed, change your narrative, boo. Don't let these agents and your manager know your dad write the narrative for your life and for your future. You do that. So I love the way that Hilary, did that. I thought it was cute. And I'm just going to enjoy them right now because I don't know how long it's going to last, but we just going to go with the flow when it comes to, our girl Hilary and LaMarcus. Who, Father, let's get into Will because there's a lot of stuff going on with our main character, okay? So when season 3 opens up, we see that Will is at the country club. Him and Lisa are sharing a passionate kiss. And Will looks extremely acclimated with the country club. He looks like he's there all the time. He knows everyone. He looks like he is in everyone's good graces. And so we are introduced to a character by the name of Q, who is played by Vic Mensa with his fine self. And he has this summer program that Will wants to get into. And Will is excited that Carlton is back. He got his ace boom coon, his road dog, as he says, and he's just happy that, he got his cousin and his best friend back. So they decide to go into business with each other. And I believe that it's called, I done forgot the name of their company. Okay, I forgot. Y'all charge it to my mind. I don't have any notes. I am clearly just talking off the top of my head from the things that I remember on this show. Okay, so I don't remember the name of their company, but it's a cute little name, and they got the little crown on it. It's their brand. Okay, I forgot. But they decided to start this company. But Will makes a startling decision. Will does not want to play basketball anymore. And I was like, I wasn't expecting that. So I'm like, what is he going to do? And Will really made the decision after he just haphazardly ran into his father while he and Carlton was having dinner. They did not know that Lou was still in town or anything like that. And it really messed Will up. And this is someone who he doesn't have a great relationship with Lou. And the last time that they saw each other, it was volatile. It was extremely toxic. And I couldn't even imagine if that were to happen. But then I had a situation literally happen to me last week. I have not seen or spoken to my father in about 5.5 years. Like literally. He lived in South Carolina. I live in Florida. And then he texted me like randomly and was like, I know you didn't wake up and expect to see a text from your father, but he literally moved back to Florida probably like 45 minutes away from me. And he was letting me know and asked me if I wanted to, see him and meet up for dinner. And I was like, what? There are so many emotions that come over you when you're dealing with something like that. So watching these episodes, it really touched me in a different way when it comes to Will and Lou's dynamic. And Will doesn't want to be anything like his father. Anything that he does that resembles Lou, he does not want it to be a part of his life at all. He just doesn't. Now, what's so interesting is that in episode 1, we did not see the character of Jackie. I honestly didn't even believe that Jackie was going to be in the remainder of the series, believe it or not. But I believe Jackie comes around in episode 2, and we see her at the Banks' house. She is talking to Viv, and I'm like, okay. And as her and Will are talking, I'm like, wait a minute. There is a certain dynamic. There's a certain energy that Will and Jackie possess, that they have when they share a scene with each other. So I was like, okay, so this situation isn't over. It's not over by a long shot. So as Will and Carlton come up with their business plan, they are trying to, get people to buy their shirts. So it's Will, Lisa, Jackie, Carlton, and Amira. So they're out and about at this little meetup or what have you, and they're trying to sell their shirts. And, Jackie is like doing the damn thing. Okay. I think everybody may have like 14, 15 sales. She got like 35 or however many she had, but it was like in the 30s. And there was a lot of talk about this particular scene with Lisa and Jackie. Like, was Lisa doing too much? Was Jackie doing too much? I think Jackie was doing too much, but she can. You know what I'm saying? Because for me, I feel like, yes, I think Jackie likes Will. And there's nothing wrong with her liking Will at all. It's up to Will to put his foot down and let Jackie know what's up. Because if I like somebody and I know that maybe you had something with this girl that's over here, but I don't think y'all together. Now, me personally, I would have asked, okay? Jackie obviously ain't that chick who's just going to ask the question. So, Jackie is doing what she doing. I felt like she was doing a lot, but I don't think it was any more than what another girl would have done if she had an interest in Will. But honestly, I really believe that her being there was to help Will, because I believe she genuinely likes him. Even though when we first met her, she didn't, she wasn't on the up and up when it came to her connection with him. But I really believe that, and I've had this happen to me, when you meet someone and you already know in your mind what it is, but the more you get to know them, you like, dang, I actually liked, oh God, I wasn't expecting for that to happen. I wasn't expecting to like them. I wasn't expecting for my feelings to get involved. That has happened to me, and I think that's what happened to her. I think that she connected with Will in a way that she did not intend on. And, now her feelings are involved. Unfortunately, now at the end of season 3, I believe it was, he decided to make things official with Lisa. Now, Lisa did go off on Jackie, like went off, okay? And I'm like, well, dang, girl, was that warranted? I mean, I guess. I could understand why Lisa felt the way that she felt, but Will is not your man. You are entitled to your feelings. You are entitled to feel the way that you feel. But Will isn't your man, sis. At the time, he wasn't your man. And Lisa was like, I'm not going to sit around while you and Jackie decide what this is. And I'm like, well, you're the one. I mean, you're young. Okay, but you're deciding to have this sexual relationship with Will, and you didn't want no titles and everything like that. I understand that. But Jackie can like whoever she want to like. And if Will is who she like, that's just who she like. And let me just say, I don't ship nobody. I ain't the reviewer who does it. I don't ship anybody. There is not anybody on this show who I dislike. A lot of people don't like Jackie. I don't have a problem with Jackie. I like Jackie. She cool. She ain't did nothing to me. Okay. Some people don't like Lisa. Lisa cool. That's my dog too. She ain't did nothing to me. I like all of them. And I think for me, when I'm watching shows where we're dealing with teenagers, I tend to have more grace for them and college students, because I understand and I remember where I was when I was their age, mentally and emotionally. So I definitely give grace to the things that they do and how they may feel in the moment. And I think sometimes as viewers, we expect them to have an emotional intelligence that a 17-year-old is probably not going to possess at that time. So I ain't got no problem with it. And so even with I'm gonna leave the heavy part last. So even dealing with Jackie, there was this famous guy who was coming to the country club, and Will was trying to get his shirt to him, and we see this drunk butthole attempt to make certain he was making a little snide, sexual remarks against Jackie, and he attempted to grab her, and Will, jumped in. Now, before we got to that, Jackie definitely had an issue with Will and how he didn't do anything when Lisa said what she said to her. Honestly, Jackie was inviting all of them to dinner. She wasn't even doing nothing wild at this point. She was inviting them to dinner. She had somebody who was going to leave the kitchen open for them. And Lisa just went off. And I'm like, you waited till this time to say something? Girl, bye. Like I said, I understand why she said it, but it was like in that moment, it just seemed it was a little off for me. I'm gonna just put it that way. And Jackie definitely felt some way about it, because it was like Will didn't come to her rescue. Will didn't do anything. And she felt that she has had Will back when he has needed her to have it. And, I agree to a certain extent. And so in that moment, Will was getting in the guy's face. He was basically protecting her. And he was, the way Will, I don't know, and maybe it's just me, maybe I could be reading more into it, but the way that Will was protecting Jackie, it just really makes me feel like Will has not fully dealt with how he actually feels about this girl. I think it is deeper than what he's willing to give attention to at this point. And I don't blame him, but it's still something there. And so he was able to give the guy his shirt, and the guy posted he got like 6 million followers and all of that. But before we get to that, Will was supposed to meet with Q. And so the day that Will decided he was going to be through with basketball, he had the meeting. He arrived to the meeting late. So Q was like, I'm good on you. Maybe this just wasn't for you. But then Q extended grace to him and Carlton and allowed both of them to be in his summer program. And so Will and Carlton, they're not seeing eye to eye how to make this thing work. And they come to a resolve, which they have to. I think there's always going to be something of some conflict between Will and Carlton, but I really hope that throughout the season we just see that love supersedes that, because I really do enjoy when they are on the same page, when they are functioning in unity, because it's a beautiful thing to watch between these two cousins and their relationship dynamic. I love to see it. But I'm like, I think it's going to be some mess with the whole Will and Jackie and Lisa thing, because it's just lingering feelings there. So the heaviness with Will's character so far, we see that Will wants to have a sit down with his mom and his dad. And that sit down was so emotional. I almost cried. Like, I felt it. I said, y'all not finna do this to me. Y'all are not going to do this to me. And they almost got me. I definitely felt the tears in my eyes. I think it's so important for parents to have certain conversations with their children, because a lot of times children are so young, and the way that we remember things may not necessarily be the truth. It may not necessarily be that's exactly how it happened. And so it's up to the parents to effectively fill in those spaces. And I love the fact of how Lou and Will's mom was just so open to be honest about what happened with their family, how the family dynamic was broken, when Lou went to jail. And how Lou was just going to get what was owed to him. He was just going to get his money because the guy stiffed him, and things just went left real quick. And I love the fact that, they had their opportunity, and we saw the true and genuine embrace between Lou and Will. And I also enjoyed the conversation that Will had with his mother. And whoever wrote this episode was so in tune, because I love how she told Will, like, I should not have allowed my issues with Lou become your issues. And I was like, oh my God, that was such a healing moment, because so many times when a mother is left to be the single mother, when the father goes on and leaves and, he's doing his thing out there, may have another family, so on and so forth, When the mother is hurt, when the mother feels misunderstood, when she feels that she has been left, she has been abandoned, and she's there to pick up the pieces and take care of things on herself, it definitely creates anger and hatred toward this person. And a lot of times, though, she can't hide how she feels. And the child is there to see all of that, to hear all of that. And no one wants to see their mother, stressed out, crying. And so you begin to have this same hatred and unresolved for this person who is your father that your mom has. And I just think that's just so important to have those conversations. So kudos to the person who wrote this episode. I wish I would have got your name so I can give you a shout out. But whoever wrote this episode did an amazing job. It was so authentic and it was so real. And I know it touched me. And I'm sure that it touched many others as well. So now we're about to get to Viv and Phil. I was just like, what are y'all doing? What exactly are we doing? Now, I can't remember Little Miss Hot Pocket name who kissed Phil. So right now her name, Little Miss Hot Pocket. And so Vivian knew something was going on because Little Miss Hot Pocket was avoiding her, trying not to make eye contact with her, trying not to be in the same space as her. So any woman would be a little suspicious of this, especially knowing that she already has history with Phil. So long story short, we find out about this kiss. Little Miss Hot Pocket tells Vivian, and of course Vivian is upset because she did not hear this from her husband. So it has caused her to withdraw from him even the more. She doesn't want to have sex with him. She doesn't want to be intimate with him in any kind of way, which brings us to Chef Bay. I forgot his name too, but that man is sexy. Chef Bay is someone that Vivian definitely finds attractive, okay? And he looks how he looking and speaking how he's speaking. I was just like, Viv, I respect you. I respect you. But if you happen to fall, ma'am, if you happen to just slip up just a tad, let me stop. Because I would not want her. That's too easy. You know what I'm saying? Giving in to your flesh, giving into your body in that way is too easy. Fight for your marriage, sis. Fight for your marriage. Fight for your love. Phil didn't do nothing that bad that will cause you to want to step out or leave him or cheat or anything like that. But Phil, I'm going to need you to get it together. I'm going to need you to get it together, bro, because you've been skating on some thin ice, I believe, since the middle half of season 1 and season 2. You've been on thin ice, sir. But I love the fact that we saw them finally come together and get their act together because the children were beginning to see that there is something going on with mom and dad. And you can even see the worry, the concern on Will's face when he asked Ashley and Carlton, like, what's going on with Aunt Viv and Uncle Phil? And, Carlton was like, oh, they're all right. No, they're not. And Will knew that they were not all right. And you could just see, like, please don't let this happen. Like, I can't take another family unit being broken. And so I'm glad they got it together. I'm glad that their children were able to see them pick up the pieces and enjoy their anniversary and get things together. But when Chef Bay came to Vivian's job and bought her lunch, and they went out there on her little patio type thing, I don't even play with fire like that. I don't even play with fire like that because why? You get too close. Even if you don't play with the fire, when you get too close to it, you still feel the heat. You still feel the remnants of how hot it is. Why you playing with it, Viv? Leave that man alone. He is too fine. I absolutely loved the scene with Vivian and her girls, having them a little girls' night out, having them a ball. She ain't worrying about them kids. She ain't worrying about their husband. All she want to do is have a good time. And I thought that was so genius because it's so important that even if you're not married, but women, as we grow and we mature, sometimes we miss out and we lose sight of bonding with our friends and keeping that dynamic, keeping that closeness tight. And I just love how they, was enjoying themselves, dancing, just being women, just being free. And I love to see that. I'm glad that we got the opportunity to see that with them. Last but not least, Geoffrey was going through a lot with this son of his, Frederick. Because at first I was like, Frederick, what are you doing? I didn't trust Frederick. Because I'm like, you know what? Geoffrey is my dude, and I don't need you to bring any harm, hurt, or pain his way. What are you here for? Who are you sneaking on the phone with? What you trying to do? And for a brief moment, I really thought he was trying to set Geoffrey up. I really did. And I'm like, I don't want to think this about this man's son, but I don't know, because we don't know you like that, Frederick. We love your father. We don't know you like that. But anyway, we find out that it was his mom. His mom was in town. And Geoffrey was going to have to bite the bullet. Either he was going to have to go back and serve his time and get back in this gang life, or his son was going to have to pay the price for his sins. And we saw our old Geoffrey from the OG Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, who looks good, by the way. He has aged so gracefully. He has aged so well. So it was so good to see OG Geoffrey and new Geoffrey have this conversation, have this tension between the two. I absolutely loved it. And I'm like, I don't want Geoffrey to leave. Whatever we got to do to have Geoffrey stay, he needs to stay. Geoffrey ripped open that punching bag and all that money came out. He like, look, I'm repaying what I owe, and you owe me too. So this gonna have to do. I love Geoffrey's confidence. I absolutely love it. Now I'm interested in this dynamic between Geoffrey and Frederick's mom, because we find out from Phil that Geoffrey really loved this woman. He really did. So I'm interested to see how this is gonna play out, as we got 4 more episodes left. Because I think there's 10 episodes this season. I did not expect this video to be this long, but like I said, this was just a little overview. This is not everything that happened. I will do like smaller videos, but this is just an overview of episodes 1 through 6 of Bel-Air season 3. Remarkable show, impeccable show. So if you are new to my channel, like I said, I appreciate you. We're gonna have a good time over here. We're gonna laugh. We're gonna keep it cute. We're gonna keep it respectful. You are more than welcome to disagree with anything I said on this video, so we can have like an engaging, you know what I'm saying, discussion in the comments. I really appreciate you guys, especially if you stayed and listened to all 42 minutes of this video. God bless you triple fold if you do. But until next time, I want to thank you guys for listening. I appreciate you, and I will holler at you later. One.